What's going on, Internet? I'd like to welcome you guys back to Respectfully Speaking, the place where we talk about all things geek. Thanks for tuning in into episode number 1. Now, before we get into the topics, if you're watching the YouTube version of the podcast on youtube.com/respectfully speaking, know the show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major platforms. My name is James, and I'm finally here with my two co-hosts today, Jason and Malcolm. Continuing on, we have a lot of news to talk about. So many things, from anime, comic books, live action, etc. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is this Japanese animation movie by the great Miyazaki. If you know Miyazaki, he is known for a lot of his animation style. He's part of, I believe Miyazaki is known for the Studio Ghibli works.
Definitively.
So have you seen Spirited Away? Definitively, right. So if you've seen Spirited Away, he made those movies, and he's always been known throughout the past 10 years. He always made like one movie and said, this was the final movie I was going to make. But then the passion in him just can't turn away from cinema, so he always comes back and back again. I say all that because he came out with a new movie called The Boy and the Heron trailer. It's his first film in 10 years. And what's interesting about this one is because he said this would be his last movie, like 2 weeks ago. But literally last week he came out and he was like, I got some more in me. So after seeing the trailer, I want to start with Jason over here. From the trailer, what do you think about it? What's your thoughts on it, your impressions?
Just like you said, Hayao Miyazaki is literally like a legend as far as just animated movies go. Studio Ghibli movies have fans far and wide, whether you're into anime or not. A lot of people just love their movies and love their films. And honest to goodness, I saw the trailer and I thought to myself, like, I don't know how he did it, but he did it. So I've been saying this for ages with new school animation. Like, sometimes it goes so far in the opposite direction that you just pour a bunch of like animation budget into making everything look flowery or flashy or the explosions or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But somehow, some way, they kept the almost like grounded, hand-drawn animation style that his work is known for, like movies like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, those movies. But somehow, like, I'm looking at it like, this movie looks beautiful. It has like that like trippy, like almost supernatural, like, but fantasy style, sort of like shows like Holic, but at the same time still has its own air. And from what I'm seeing, it looks like he's trying to break the mold a little bit instead of doing the same old. Because a lot of people like to trap him in his box of just like, feel good movies. But if you know anything about Hayao Miyazaki, he's pretty depressing in real life. He even says dumb quotes like, "Oh, you shouldn't like watch more than one of my movies a year because life is too. You shouldn't get too happy because life ain't like my movies." I'm like, that's a crazy thing to say, but
yeah, stop being too happy.
This movie looks breathtaking. I'm excited for it. I don't know about you guys.
Okay, good. How about you, Malcolm?
I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen any of these movies at all. I have not seen any Miyazaki Studio Ghibli films. I'm like behind. I know, you can shake your head. It's okay. We've been over this.
That's right.
I talked to James. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it right now on camera. But just know there's a very valid, good reason as to why I have not seen any of them.
There probably is.
That's why I'm not anticipating. There is a very good reason. I'm not going to explain it right now. Maybe I'll explain it at the end if y'all really that curious about it. There's a very good reason, but I didn't really care for the trailer. I'm sure it's going to be a great movie. I'm sure it's going to be a hit, but like, I don't really have much more to say. I just know there's a very good reason, and I'm going to wait until I watch any of these movies. So I have no input.
Are you going to watch this movie and watch the other ones? Or just watch this movie?
I'll let someone else figure that out first.
Okay.
Oh my God.
James knows what I'm talking about. James knows what I'm talking about.
Malcolm's, yeah, he has a very toxic idea.
James, and is my point valid? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you want to talk about. I think it's wrong.
You think it's wrong? I think it's a great idea.
Okay. It's a great idea and a concept, but come on, man. Come on.
It's a great idea. But okay, keep going.
Sure. I would say for me, Miyazaki's always had a special place in my heart, especially with the Studio Ghibli movies. Because Spirited Away was I think it's everyone's first movie introduction into his world, because his art style is very, really unique to the eye. Like, if you've seen his art style, Exactly, it's iconic. If you've seen this art style, you've seen it many other times in his other movies, which is good. And Miyazaki is right. A lot of his themes deal with a lot of depressing stuff, but he does it in such a way where it doesn't leave you. After you watch a movie of his, even though the theme might be depressing, you don't leave the film feeling sad or pretty much sad. Essentially, it's similar to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, you walk out, you feel terrified, you feel sad, right? But when you watch Miyazaki, even though it's a very depressing film, you walk out of it, there's still a way where you get that positive catharsis, that feeling of, okay, I really enjoyed this story, and I can walk away from this and continue on with life. But there's so much in his films that when you really sit down and break it down, there's so much layer to characters, the world, and everything of that nature. So seeing this, I'm excited to see what he cooks up. The trailer looks very good. I like the soundtrack that was going for. I love the seems like the story seems very interesting about a boy, I guess, in this new world trying to discover what it is. So let's see what happens to it, man.
I do have a question.
Honestly, I'm excited. What's up, buddy?
So I'm assuming that you've already seen this movie, but just the sub, and I know that this is going to get an English adaptation. Do you know anything about that?
I know nothing about this movie. I've never seen this movie at all.
All right, we got to watch it then, and follow back up.
Oh yeah, well, we gotta watch it. We 100% gotta watch it. I think it's coming out. Oh, here's a night. Oh yeah, Malcolm, for whatever reason. I know the reason, but an interesting tidbit about this movie too is that Miyazaki purposely stated that he wanted to do as minimal or just no marketing as possible. He wanted to do no marketing for his movie, but I think whoever was on his side was like, we gotta at least put a trailer out, dude. We gotta at least let people know it's happening. So he did it. I always found it very interesting how he's a guy who cares about artistic integrity, but he does not care about promotion whatsoever, which I find very, I don't know. I
think it's partially because advertising can be often misleading. Like, the Dune trailer, that joint had like 89% Zendaya. The actual movie had like 3% of Emma, bro.
Y'all like Zendaya, so
They sold it.
We all do. Hold on. We all do. What do you mean y'all?
But when the movie came out, the movie did not even resemble what the trailer did, in my opinion. Unless you read the Dune books and you knew what was going on. But maybe that's why he's not pro advertisement and all that other stuff. But
maybe. Okay. What do you think, Malcolm? You have any more thoughts?
First of all, we all love Zendaya. I just want to shout out Zendaya. Anyways, she's a great actress. Hypothetical question. If you were to choose which one of his movies to watch first, which one would you choose? Like first?
Spirited Away.
Princess Mononoke. Okay.
That one is a good option too.
Different
like
takes.
They're the top two. If you want to get into it, they're Princess. What do you say? Mononoke. Mononoke. Yeah, and Spirited Away. Spirited Away for me was just easier because the concept. Well, both of them are easy, but Spirited Away is easy as a concept. I won't spoil to you what it is, but as the world and plot of itself was really straightforward, very simple. Where the plot was simple, but it allowed the world to be really complex in nature. And I think Princess was also similar in that aspect, but I don't know. Just Spirited Away was my first gateway.
Different things they were trying to communicate, though.
Exactly. Right. So, but speaking on the anime train, we also got announced something that Jason was very excited about because he loves fighting moves because he's black and we love fighting. The House of Lee. So Bruce Lee is getting an anime adaptation, and it's going to be like this nice old retro style art style, and it's coming out soon. I forgot when it's supposed to be coming out, but it's coming out. But Jason wanted me to put this on a note. So Jason, tell us your thoughts on this trailer.
Well, just like I was mentioning earlier, like there's so much that has changed in the last 30 years of animating, and most of it's for the better, but I feel like we kind of get lost in just like kind of just one-upping, so much so that a lot of projects get bogged down by the sheer magnitude of the work that you need to do, the detail that you need to like keep consistent throughout an entire episode, to the point where a lot of like really good shows don't get renewed because of the cost of production. But I'm looking at this show, and for me, I'm just seeing like old-timey, looks like the same hand-drawn like type of old-style animation, but what you're finding here is just really, really good choreography. I don't know if any of you've ever seen the original Dragon Ball anime or animes like Kenichi Mightiest Disciple or any other martial arts anime, but when you nail it, you nail it. And what I'm finding is like, if you can scale back and just keep it to the basics, then you can put all that extra effort towards making sure that you get the simple thing done so well. You nail it. And that's what I'm seeing this might be. I don't know to what degree the story is going to take. Obviously, this is going to be a fiction to a certain degree. Literally in the trailer, you see him turn into a dragon, but I'm pretty sure that's just more of like it's like symbolizing the way that he moves. We'll see.
It's a nice symbolism thing.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, come on now.
A visual and like analogy of the way he moves, but it's awesome. I'm all about martial arts anime. Check out the trailer. As soon as it comes out, I'm on that joint.
If I could watch American Jake Dragon, what was that show back in the day?
Jake the American Dragon.
American Dragon. Jake there it is. Jake the American Dragon. If I could watch a little boy turn into a dragon, that sounds probably bad. But if I can watch a boy, if I can watch a show of a character turning into a dragon.
Where are you going with
this? Keep going.
I can understand Bruce Lee becoming a dragon in the anime. That's all I'm saying. It won't be too out of line for me. That's all I was trying to get across.
Yeah, he's gonna find a magic stone.
It's gonna be Dragon Tales.
It's gonna be Dragon Tales, but with Bruce Lee.
I would watch it.
I would watch it. Nice.
Honestly, I would watch it.
Yeah.
The fire theme song, a fire opening. That actually sounds kind of tough. Not gonna lie.
Honestly,
you know, give me back like a modern version of Rock the Dragon. I'm there.
Yes. 100%.
That was.
I agree.
But I agree with Jason that the art style actually is like really nice. Obviously, we don't know much from the trailer, but like it's really refreshing. I like that. It's just like it's colorful, but in like a nice, vibrant way. It's not too flashy and bright, but it's not too dark and like disturbing. It has the right type of vibe and tone, at least off to me after watching it the first couple of times. So I'm actually excited just for the art style alone. But we'll see how the story actually like carries things. Also, do you think it's going to be in dub too? I just thought about that.
Everything gets dubbed very quickly nowadays, and something like this would definitely be a hit among Western audiences. Besides, there's a lot more than just America that speaks English as far as like anime.
Not as good as us though. We're
established. Like all the cats in the UK.
We're better at English. I think UK doesn't have English. They have whatever they have. The loser English. That's what it is. Personally, House of Lee, I think it'll get dubbed. Only because it's Bruce Lee and it's a big name. If it wasn't, then I don't think so. But because of this, and plus the way anime dubs have been progressing in the past like 5-6 years of good quality voice actors, it'd be foolish to not have a Bruce Lee dub either. But yeah, man, we'll just have to wait and see.
Plus, everything gets dubbed.
Yeah, everything is dubbed.
Everything is dubbed nowadays.
Exactly. So we'll see how it goes. But speaking of Bruce Lee having his own anime, we have an anime that turned into live action in the past 2-3 weeks, known as Goat Piece, but the official name is known as One Piece.
Man just said Goat Piece.
So
somebody retired immediately.
So One Piece live action came out a couple of weeks ago, and just before I continue, Malcolm, did you finish it?
I've seen enough.
That's not my answer. That's not my question.
That answers your question. I've seen enough.
Jason, did you finish it?
I'm halfway through.
Whoa, wait. What episode are you on?
These are anime fans.
Episode.
I'm past. At least I'm past that.
Okay.
What
episode are you on, Malcolm?
I'm on episode 5.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I'm sorry that
what I will say. So what I've seen, I can review. I don't know how much better it gets. Mm-hmm. I already know I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Because you were a blind fanboy all week long.
Because Jason's likes to be a gatekeeper. That's what it is.
I'm not a gatekeeper.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been waiting like 2 weeks to hear this. So I just go off. I need to hear this.
Me?
Well, let me introduce the topic.
We already know we're talking about One Piece's live action. It dropped on Netflix, and everybody and their grandma was posting about it all week long.
True. Now, speaking of that, Jason, since you want to interrupt me, not only with One Piece live action, but yes, One Piece live action finally came out on Netflix. Soaring reviews. Most critics liked it. If you go on social media, a lot of fans enjoyed it. You might find some fans that might complain a little bit about the adaptability quality of the material. But overall, most people liked it, and we're here. Did One Piece live action live up to being a great anime? Two-part question. Did it live up to be a great adaptation of the manga / anime? And then two, is it now definitively one of, if not the best, live action adaptation?
Do you want to answer now?
Jason, go. Go.
Yes and yes.
Speak your mind.
I just said yes and yes.
Oh, yes and yes. Okay.
I can like something and have criticisms at the same time, believe it or not.
No, you
okay?
can't.
So let's just get it right.
But go ahead.
First things first, this is the best production value I've ever seen of any live action anime. This is better than Bleach's live action. This is better than the Death Note live action, whatever the heck that was. This is better than everything's better than Dragon Ball Evolution, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's right.
Set perfect, casting perfect, soundtrack beautiful. They even took a lot of creative liberties with the script and just to make it a little bit more workable, because everyone knows One Piece is a very outlandish, goofy in the way that it's written, directed in the manga and the anime. So you have to take your liberties. But I cannot say that the acting is all that. And I think this is where me and James differ. When I first started watching, my first thing, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Because there's certain things that, like, I've been watching One Piece since I was 11. It's like 13 years. I'm there. I'm here. I literally had the volume of manga. I'm literally watching the first episode and I grabbed my manga. I'm like, I don't remember it like that. Where's the narrator? Why don't we have a narrator? Everything is being told first. I'm sitting there just nitpicking. I'm sitting there like, I have to calm down. I really do. Because I'm watching this and I'm just like losing my mind. Because Gold D. Roger, he didn't say the thing the way that he's supposed to say it. There's so many things. I literally called James like 4 different times with a lot of nitpicks about the beginning. Because again, I think One Piece starts off with this bold right punch just saying, bam. There's this world, there's this guy, he's the beast, king of pirates, he's everything. And they got him there, he's about to die. And then he just says this speech. They don't say like somebody's like, what are your final words or whatever. He just says it. And it's just so clear. And he was like, hey, I'm him. I did everything. I've been everywhere and I've everything the world has to offer I've seen. If you want my treasure, come and find it. He's literally bossing up on everyone right before he dies. Like that level of just... You ever seen The Godfather? That level like a boss, like that. When I'm watching the live action, there was a level of that grandiose that just wasn't there. Also, why didn't they off-screen him?
Why did they off-screen him?
Because then you got him, stab him, he's just doing this like... and he passes out and dies. It's embarrassing. He's the king of pirates.
Okay.
Those things are like really made me want to just like, man, this is just. I thought to myself, man, it don't matter how much money you put in these joints, man. There's always something. And then I was like, Jason, you have to calm down. If I want to see that again, I can just go back and watch the original One Piece or grab the manga and read it again. So calm down. The acting is still not there. It's the same way like in superhero movies. You see a superhero movie's acting. Generally, there's like a couple of really good roles and the rest of them are very like cheesy. Sounds like they just like practiced right before then. Flatlines. Similar. Also, down these stairs.
Wait, who? Say that again?
Down these stairs. Remember that I sent you?
I know that one. I know what you're talking about.
But that's neither here nor there. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I think the acting has leaves something left to be desired, but the casting is spot on. I think there's just aspects of it that are just a little bit harder or almost jarring because again, it's almost impossible to nail like the One Piece vibe without sounding goofy because there's just a level of goofiness to it, and when it's in live action, our brains are kind of like, people would never talk like that. But One Piece isn't like people in real life, so I have to take it with a grain of salt, and I would still say it's a really, really good adaptation, the best I've ever seen.
Interesting. Okay, Malcolm.
I was really, honestly, I really enjoyed that. I just want to let the audience know that this will be 3 different opinions with 2 very diehard One Piece fans. And then me, because I'm not a diehard One Piece fan. As you can
Not
see,
even a diehard anime
if
fan.
anyone is watching, the actual GOAT, I don't know what James is talking about. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But I did watch the One Piece live action adaptation, and I went in knowing that I had watched enough episodes to know what would be going on, but I wouldn't get every single clue or Easter egg or thing that was hidden. And I really enjoyed when James would like call me and like update me, and he'd be like, "Oh, I noticed this one thing in this one scene," but I was like, okay, that's really cool that they did that for the diehard fans. But I also think they did a good job for like the casual viewers, people who've seen a little bit of One Piece, like me, or people who haven't seen anything at all, and you can still watch it and enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I would think it was a really solid adaptation, I would say, of a show. Like, because they did take some creative liberties of changing some things, and they needed to, because like Jason said, that you can't just like full CGI everything. One, they probably didn't have the budget, but 2 is like it wouldn't work. One Piece is too goofy in the anime and the manga for it to do it live action, but how they did it, how they changed it, how they made it work, I really appreciated. The acting, I agree, isn't like top notch, but at the same time, this is season 1 of a show that a lot of us were already like writing off and thought we were going to hate. So comparatively, I thought it was solid. I wouldn't complain about anything. The set design, costumes, sound production, the script, everything was solid. I think my favorite characters that I watched was probably Shanks, and he wasn't even in that many episodes. He's obviously like a side.
That's as One
point.
Piece as you can get. Shanks
Yeah.
not being around.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
One Piece.
Or and then I'd probably say Zoro. I think the actor nailed his character, like absolutely. And I'm
Zoro
trying to think.
nailed it.
Yeah.
And
he
Usopp.
did. Yes. Yeah, no, I think those would be my top 3, like actors who actually nailed their role. So overall, I enjoyed it. And to answer your second question, yes, I think this is the best live action adaptation. Like, I actually would recommend this to people compared to any other live action adaptation that we don't speak of. I don't even know if there is any other, because they probably don't exist. Yeah.
Wait until Naruto one comes out. You know,
I,
working on that one. It's ninjas. It could work.
If they did a prequel, we're gonna redo that episode.
No.
If we did a prequel of Dragon Ball, that would be dope. Anyways,
Right.
Anyways.
So context. Me and Jason both read the manga of One Piece. Jason started One Piece way earlier than me. I started during the pandemic, but then ever since then I've been reading the manga. And so I understand some of Jason's concerns and frustrations, especially how maybe the adaptation may not get the minute details that might make you, as a One Piece fan, fall in love necessarily. But there's some things where, as I was rereading the particular saga that this live action is adapting, because you gotta think about it, this is adapting a saga, not just an arc. This is adapting the saga of East Blue, which, if you're talking about an anime version, that's the first 55-ish episodes. If you're talking about the manga, that's around 95 to 96 chapters that they adapted for this 8 episode. And even though for me it was a tight 8 episodes, for me it didn't feel rushed. It felt like, now, depending on who you talk to, if you talk to Jason focuses, and Jason's opinion isn't wrong either. I get his critique. If you want those minor characters, those moments that really make you be like, man, really is One Piece to me in my heart, there is going to be some of that, but there's also not going to be a lot of it, because the live action adaptation is focused on being the Kai of One Piece. It is a streamlined version that tells you the plot beats, the character developments, and the motivations of each character, and it pushes it along. But they still find a good time within moments to have those quiet, breathing moments to really dive into character dynamics. For example, I think this is something you both saw because this is during the Sanji reveal. You had Zoro and Nami share alcohol. They shared a drink together. And it was like one of those quiet moments where that's not in the manga at all, but it was a great moment for those two to really sit down and discuss and talk about pretty much how they view the world and how they see their current situations, essentially. And it's things like that, those creative liberties like that, that made me really appreciate this adaptation. Especially, I'm gonna say it here, there's some stuff here in the live action I actually preferred than in the manga and in the anime itself. And I know that might be blasphemy for some One Piece fans to hear because it's like, but Oda is the GOAT and Oda is great at writing the One Piece. But I think the way the medium of live action sometimes has like a good advantage compared to how the manga is. For example, like with the manga, like in the beginning, you can take your time with things. You can take your time building the world and having this one particular plot line. Whereas in live action, you gotta immediately throw the main plot, the subplot, the characters. You gotta really start having story beats happening because if you don't wow people in the first 5 to 10 minutes anymore with some intrigue, you lose a good portion of viewers. That's just the way it is nowadays in the media. The other thing as well is that when it comes to the acting, I felt like the acting was good. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, like they should win an Oscar or anything like that, but it wasn't anything where I'm sitting there and be like, man, you're taking me out the scene type of acting. It was good. Like I feel like everybody. I will say this though, it felt like the first 3 episodes, everyone was trying to find their footing on exactly how they should act, how they should talk, how they should behave. Luffy, especially, I feel like if you watch the first episode with Luffy's actor, he overpronunciates his words very harshly in a way where it kind of makes me feel like, man, it feels like you kind of like went to school, like you. I
think I've read somewhere that he's not a native English speaker and like he learned English for the script. Yeah. So why he's pronouncing every English word because that's like what he's learning actively.
That's what you're taught. Yeah, you're taught to pronounce it that way, and so it comes across unnatural to us because we kind of like shorten things, abbreviate some things,
which is pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive for him to learn this. What's your thoughts, Jason? You're already looking up at the sky.
No. Again, I feel like you're oversimplifying.
Yes, I don't care that you're Brazilian.
I think you're oversimplifying my critique.
I didn't even finish it.
I know, but
so
go ahead, bro.
I'm just simply saying, and the other thing too is, first of all, Nami's character from beginning to end, I thought the actress did phenomenally well because one thing about Nami's character that I think is underrated, not just in the manga anime, but also here in the live action that I feel like you could see. The actress has the most difficulty for acting for the other ones because I was watching this YouTube channel and they said it best. If Luffy's the heart of the crew, Nami is the overworking brain cell that keeps the crew going. And she has to interact with these characters in different ways. She has to deal with Luffy's optimism, Zoro's kind of like nonchalant behavior, Sanji's romantic advances, which by the way, that's one thing I did like about in the live action than the manga is that in the manga and the anime, Sanji's a little creepy, a little too abrasive. Whereas at least in the live action, he's just seen as a romantic guy, and it's kind of it lands better for me. And then also with Usopp's character, she has to work with so many different characteristics, whereas I don't feel like the other actors had to deal with that as much. So she gets a lot of my praise for that. Zoro, come on. I think we all can agree Zoro's actor was pretty good, even though he came across a little bit edgy. I like that about him. And the fact they made 3 swords work in live action, come on. I think that has to be something to praise about. The only actor that it took me a while to really build towards liking and really getting into was Usopp, because when he was introduced in the 3rd episode, it felt like he was acting and not being Usopp in a way. And it was his delivery of the lines, it was his mannerisms, it was the way how he would talk. It felt like he read the script and just overacted the scene instead of just being into it. And I didn't feel like we got the real Usopp until right around Sanji's arc, is where I was like, okay, cool, he's actually like selling it in. And then I won't spoil. I guess I could. I mean, you guys watch the One Piece anime.
Not spoiling. We know what happens.
Technically,
Yeah.
but they do change a lot of stuff.
Okay,
like, you guys think it's Creative Liberties now. They change a lot now. So, but one thing that they did keep was Usopp's heroic fight against the fisherman with the slingshot, and it shows. I wanted to see that, and I think the actor pulled it off extremely well during that fight. But I was like, oh, what's up?
Did they keep Usopp Hammer in that mode?
No, they had the slingshot.
You're right. I am a nitpicky, and I do want the small little moments that bring me back to my childhood. But it's okay.
Yeah. So, but they have all, like, the big moments you read in the manga is the big moments you see here too, and they do change some things. So, for example, Mihawk. Oh my gosh, like Mihawk's character.
Oh, he looked cool. Yeah, he looked cool.
Yeah. In this live action, when he comes on the scene, you're like, this man's swinging a big behind. Now, mind you, I'm sure it's probably lightweight in real life, but the way he's making it feel like it's like a heavy swing.
You can feel the weight of it on the set.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, you know, that's very important. Overall, overall, I'll say this. I really did enjoy the story of this saga. They kept it very close, pretty much identical, to be honest. Like, if you are like, James, I don't want to read 100 chapters of a manga before you guys say it gets good, which in my opinion, the manga's good first chapter. Okay, let's get that clear. All right. Any One Piece fan who tells you start at a later point of a saga or show or arc or whatever is wrong. The show starts at chapter 1, not chapter whatever. Anyway, the other thing too is the way they did Arlong in this is very interesting because they didn't change him up or anything like that, but they did change some things about Nami's backstory related to Arlong that I think actually works really well in this live action. Like, you still get what they do with Creative Liberties is they don't change how the story ends. They just either enhance a scene or a moment that you probably saw in anime or manga, but you still get the same emotional impact. Like, the way Usopp defeats the fisherman in the show is way different than how it is in the anime, but you still get the same accomplishment, the same, like, there you go, Usopp, you're showing some bravery for the first time, you're doing good. And Luffy's battle with Arlong, fantastic special effects. Like, this, side note, because I know I'm going on a rant here, but side note, Luffy having stretchy abilities in live action just shows you that we can have stretchy characters in live action from Fantastic Four. We don't need to limit them. It don't look as ridiculous, so it works well. And I know some One Piece fans online had a little 50-50 split on Garp and Kobe's involvement in this season, because if you read the anime and the manga, after Kobe decides he wants to become a Marine, he's kind of off screen for a while.
He's gone. Like, I was kind of surprised. Yeah, like, gone. From my input, like, I was like, I don't remember him being in the show that much, like, during these sessions. So I was like, they're definitely just like adding him in, which I think I appreciated, because I think it added more to the story instead of, and they didn't have time to do separate episodes. So I think it worked for me personally.
I think it served as a good B plot.
Yes.
It's a good B plot.
Foiling what's happening with the crew, so that it never feels like, man, this is just running and running and running. You get like a B plot, something else entirely different happening, especially with someone who's related to Luffy.
Yes, and they've revealed that. They've revealed that really early. I was watching with Corey, and like, so since I didn't watch that far ahead, I didn't even know that he was his grandfather, and so like that shocked me.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No, I didn't watch. Corey told me that was like 250 episodes into the show. It's like, oh
no,
okay.
You would have, if you kept watching for like another like 10-15 episodes, you would have found out.
Okay,
like, it's not that far away.
Okay,
but it's like, that's why Yeah, he wasn't that far. That's why I was gonna ask you. I was like, man, does Malcolm know that Garp is Luffy's grandfather?
No, I do
don't know
now.
if he knows that yet.
I do now.
And Luffy's family.
Oh, there's so
That's
much.
a different story.
That's a different
What's
story.
this say?
I have
Anyhow.
2 points before we move on. One, I don't know if you guys heard, but did you know that they have a Japanese dub on the Netflix, and the Japanese
So
dub.
decent about that.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was really cool when I first heard that. That the Japanese dub is the original voice actors of the actual anime. So I was like, that's really cool for fans who love the show and grew up watching it, or at least in sub.
And
Some people watch it in
prefer sub.
4Kids. Yes, that they get the authenticity of it.
Bro, what if they brought in the 4Kids voice actors
No.
I was waiting for that.
No.
for a 4Kids dub version? You're waiting for me to say that?
No.
No, I was waiting for them to do that. That would have been fantastic.
But that's why for people, if you do feel like the acting is just taking you out, it's not at Jason specifically, just overall to people. If you feel like the acting or the voice is just not hitting it for you, the Japanese dub is right there where you get the same voices you get from the anime. So that's what I like about this show is that it feels like from the writers, the cast, the producers, everybody on deck wanted to show their love for One Piece, and I feel like it really showed, especially with how they crafted this story. Now, I did say they took some creative liberties, so if you guys don't mind me spoiling what happens, I can tell y'all. So
Say it.
in this first season, we know the A plot was Luffy building his pirate crew, and the B plot was Garp and Kobe. In the B plot, Kobe's dead. Oh, I'm kidding. It's not dead. I'm kidding. He's not dead.
No, that was,
I
actually believe you.
In the
That-
B plot, Jason.
I was
He's
like,
going to be really mad.
I'm about to go back my volume.
No,
What
like-
is it?
Look, Kobe's still alive, you know.
Like, according to my calculation.
But in reality, though, the way it ends is that obviously you have Luffy versus Arlong. Luffy defeats Arlong in a very spectacular way. Oh my gosh, it's so well done. And everyone's celebrating, having a good time. But finally, Garp and Kobe meet the pirate Luffy's Straw Hat crew on the island. And Garp challenges Luffy to a fight because Luffy says, I want to be a pirate. I want to go across the Grand Line. And Garp is like, okay, fight me then. And Luffy gets demolished by his grandfather. His father tears him a whole new one. Luffy has nothing against this man. And Garp has him held up in the sky and is like, you want to be a pirate, boy? You really want to be a pirate? And Luffy, without hesitation, is saying yes, he still wants to be a pirate. And Garp sets him down. He's like, I know you always wanted to be. I just had to make sure first. And Luffy's like, you couldn't have went harder? You couldn't have went a little softer? And Garp was like, I just had to make sure you was ready because what I am is nothing compared to how they are out there, which I thought was very interesting change compared to manga anime because you don't see that in the anime or nothing like that.
Not at
But
all.
Garp's journey in this live action is his arc in this is depicted as he's an old man trying to hold on to the old ways. And he's trying to restrain the new age pirates. Whereas what he's learning in this arc is that you have to let these new pirates go. There are going to be new Marines. Kobe is going to be that new Marine that's going to go after these new age pirates. You have to, instead of holding the senior position, instead of holding it and refusing people to grow, teach the young recruits so that way they can eventually take your spot and continue the morals and values you want in the Marines. So I thought that was a very interesting growth in terms of Garp's character in this season. But there's multiple things too, but that's the key factor.
Yeah. One last point. I believe his name is Django in the anime and manga. The Michael
He
Jackson.
was nowhere to see found.
I was so disappointed. I was the first thing I was looking forward to. He wasn't in there.
I think if they had put Django in there, it would have satiated all my other. Because, again, he was almost a foil to Captain, what's his name?
James.
Not Katakuri.
The guy.
Captain Smoker?
No. The
Oh my
butler.
God.
Which one?
Thank you. The cat.
Oh, the butler.
cat. The cat
Captain
guy.
Kuro.
Kuro.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Captain Kuro.
Django was a good foil. I was literally reading the manga. Honestly, nothing makes me read the One Piece manga like watching the live action. I literally just pull the volume forward, just where'd Django at?
I'm not gonna hold you up.
I was waiting for that beach
What's your
scene.
dog?
They didn't have the.
I know.
It was alright.
I know.
And
Just
then,
have a guy like walk backwards into the shot. I would have like, yeah, this is GOAT. Like this is
dude, if they did that, I don't care how bad the acting was. It would have been good acting to me. Actually, I would hope that he wasn't good at moonwalking, but thought he was good at moonwalking, and sold that on the show. That would have been hilarious. But no,
I'm
we
glad
didn't
you
get
feel
it.
that way. I would say from my perspective, as someone who has read all those contents and everything like that, after I was done watching this, Malcolm knows this too, because like the first episode when they introduced Buggy the Clown as a post-credit tease, I was giddy in my seat. Like I watched a superhero post-credit scene for the first time. I was like, he looks fantastic. He looks good. And I love how they make him, because in the One Piece anime they make Buggy's still menacing. He's like a killer. He's not a good guy at all. But I think because of the tone and atmosphere of One Piece, we see Buggy might be a little bit more considered lighthearted in the anime, when not really. His motives, what he's done, is still bad. It's just that because you have Luffy as a perspective, it's seen as lighthearted. Whereas in the show, I love how they dive into like the killer clown type of aesthetic. And then speaking of which, the other tease that I loved was the end of season 1 when they tease. Jason knows who this person is because it's in the next saga.
it has
Captain
to be Crocker.
Smoker was teased.
Never mind. Yeah, I forgot about the dude.
Or even the fact that they mentioned Baroque Works right in the beginning of the show.
Oh yeah.
Bro, can we talk about that? Okay, first of all, one thing I want to say before I let Jason talk. One thing I really did love about this show is that how they brought in stuff that happens later on in the story. This is how you know it's One Piece fans. You know it's not people who just read the assignment of, okay, this saga, all right, cool. No, these are people who definitely been reading One Piece
They did their
even
homework.
after the saga. They did their homework. Because one thing they did here that Malcolm doesn't know is that the introduction of Zoro, the first scene when he's fighting Mr. 7, that's off screen. We don't get that in anime and the manga. We get that referenced like
In a text.
in one scene, like in a text in the manga, and like one statement from Zoro in the anime about how he fought Mr. 7 because he recognized who this organization was. But I love how they took that and they were like, no, we're gonna show this. And that's one thing that they do. They take stuff that's supposed to be off screen, like Kobe's training, his development, but they're like, no, we're gonna show Kobe actually training and becoming a Marine. That's why I'm not surprised. Actually, I'll say that for the next topic. But that's why I really do like this adaptation. It's such, in my opinion, I feel like it was very faithful. I know it didn't have everything, every single small moment everyone wanted, but I either didn't have the budget for it or they didn't have the time to include those characters in. That's just how I feel. But I'm glad we're getting a tease for Smoker. That's why I'm happy. So,
No complaints here.
So season 2. They're
So let's
obviously
talk
going to be
about it,
doing
right?
season 2. Yeah.
now listen. Okay, that's what I was going to say. They announced season 2 like a couple of days ago. And apparently the One Piece producers already announced that they already have they already had the second season already written. They just needed the green light to actually go and shoot it, which is good. So that means we probably can get One Piece season 2 in about a year and a half, 2 years, and they actually start. Well, once the WGA strike is done and SAG after. So the expectation here is, what I'm sensing is, and what most people online are saying too, is that they're probably going to do saga by saga. They're not going to do like a particular just stop there. So here's the challenges that come with the second season. The next saga is Arabasta saga, which is Crocodile. It's the big bad. He's introduced by what's the proper name, Jason? Baroque?
The Baroque Works.
Baroque Works. Jason knows the name better than me. I just read it. Baroque Works. And Crocodile is a big final antagonist for that saga. And the reason why a lot of people will tell you, oh, just start there, even though I disagree with it, is because that's like the first real time Luffy gets a taste of what it's like to be against a villain that has no remorse and does not care and actually is seen as unbeatable, a boss. Like, Luffy has to try hard. There's no gum you can do to beat this guy. You gotta really, this will test Luffy's intelligence, his strategy. Yeah.
Before he had half of a
he was
W
getting,
in the actual manga,
he-
in anime.
like Luffy was getting destroyed, and it was so great to see, because as a viewer you're like, wow, this is, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but like just overall you just see how Oda sets up each villain. Now, of course, Arabasta Saga. Be quiet, Jason. Now, the Arabasta Saga introduces Captain Smoker, who is the guy. If you watch the full live action, you see him with the 2 cigars, and he puts the cigar burn in Luffy's wanted poster. And my assumption, a lot of people are wondering about what's going to happen, but I think, Malcolm, you know this too, because I think you know at least a little bit in the future.
Yeah, I've been there.
Chopper's introduced in this saga.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are wondering, a lot of people are running with the hashtag now, Muppet Chopper.
No.
They're running with a Muppet Chopper.
Hey, I would pay to see that. I would pay
I
per
have
view.
no idea how they're going to adapt it. Some people are wondering if they might trim the arc entirely, like the Drum Island arc where you introduce Chopper. Because I feel like next season can't be 8 episodes. It needs to be at least 10 to 12 because there's so many more characters that's introduced that I feel like if you really want to do it justice, you have to do an extra 2 episodes to let it breathe.
2 or 3
What's your
episodes
thoughts, Jason?
for Drum Island.
Yeah. I say 2. Yeah, you're right, 2.
Yeah, but no, I agree. This is the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm surprised they greenlit. I'm surprised they already have a potential season 2 in the works already. If I'm honest with you,
Really?
because the price tag on this bad boy is huge. That's my biggest.
130 million.
And I already know that, like, these Netflix original projects are not lucrative. You're not selling any subscription to people who already have it. Anyone who already wants Netflix already has it. So, I was surprised that, I don't know, we'll see if they greenlight it. I think it would be cool to see. I was just surprised that it even happened. But I probably sound like a hater. But not because of the value of the show. I think the show was awesome and I think it was very well received for good reason.
Oh yeah, very well received. A lot of people and sign up before I let Malcolm talk. Excuse me. The thing is, I wanted to know because I'm too into One Piece. So for me, I know I might have some bias here. I know I see some stuff coming, etc. So I wanted to watch some YouTubers I usually watch react who have never seen any content of One Piece before. And it's funny enough, some of them cried during a lot of these quiet moments. Some of them, pretty much all of them loved it. A lot of them was like, wow, that was actually really good. Some of them either cried a moment, some people cheered, some people were just laughing. It felt like, even for the casual audience, it hit with them, which is very important too, because us hardcore fans, we're there day one no matter what. But it's the casual fans that you really want to pull into. So, with all that being said, Malcolm, tell us your thoughts about what you predict will happen season 2, even though you have no idea what happens after this saga.
I'm going to ask a really stupid question to trigger every One Piece fan. Who is Mr. Zero?
Okay, listen.
Yeah, hold on. Did I say? Isn't it Crocodile? Am I right?
Jason got this.
Tell me I'm right. Am I wrong? You know I'm right. I don't need your opinion. I know I'm right. From the awkwardly say I'm right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yay! See, I pay attention. I don't even like the show, and I pay attention.
All right. Whoa. Do you know who Miss All Sunday is?
Yeah. That's that's Robin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, I pay attention.
Yeah. All right.
What?
Okay, here's the thing you guys need to know about Malcolm. Malcolm doesn't watch anything. He just he's just chronically online enough that he picks up certain articles and information.
And I have a good memory.
That's how he knows stuff that happens. And has a good memory. He doesn't watch any anime. He doesn't watch any TV shows, nothing like that.
I've never watched an anime in my life. Just fun fact. I'm letting you know.
Exactly.
But
Only
when I
Naruto.
I got up to the point of Crocodile being introduced, and I was like, this is starting to get good. The first time I was like, you know what? I think I'm interested in One Piece. And then I took a break, and I'm going to take my time probably this winter and actually binge watch it. But this is the first time I'm actually excited to see it, at least the anime. So my question is, do you think that will be in the live action season 2 or no?
I think it has to be.
Introducing Crocodile.
I think it must happen.
Crocodile guy, Mr. Zero.
For them to cover this much ground in season 1, and for them to not cover, because there's no way to get into Baroque Works and satisfyingly like adapt it without getting into Alabasta.
Okay.
Because Baroque Works on its own isn't solid enough on its own with its like climactic finish. In the same way, like Usopp's arc wasn't a climactic finish. When they beat Axe Hand Morgan wasn't climactic finish, but Alabasta was that bow. He's blue.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll do it.
No, I mean our long fight was bow, and then afterwards is Baroque Works, Drum Island because Nami got sick because she got bit with like a bug that gave her like a fever that was gonna kill her.
Yep.
That's
why they had to find Chopper, right? They had to get it
back.
That whole
arc wasn't just for Chopper. It was another way of even beyond Alabasta continuing to show Luffy's resolve for his crew. Because remember, he climbed that mountain barehanded with her on his back to save Nami.
Spoiler: that's literally the episode I'm on.
Sorry, your fault.
Okay.
That's your fault.
It is.
One Piece has been out for way too long.
It is. I don't care.
But again, you can't miss that. You almost need all three of them because if you stop at Drum Island, it's gonna feel like empty. If you stop at Baroque Works, it's gonna be even worse. You have to make it to Alabasta. You have to. I don't know if they're gonna. That's why it would be like
10 episodes.
10 or 11. I don't know if they're gonna do it where they juke you out and convince you that like at the very end, like, you know, like, oh, like at the beginning of season 3 we're gonna see the final finale. Like, I hope they don't do anything like that. That would suck. But you need to get into it in some way, shape, or form. You can't touch Baroque Works and not go to Alabasta. There's no way.
Okay. Well, then I'm excited.
Do you agree,
James?
Oh, I just wanted to Google something real quick. So, here's the thing. I agree with Jason. Because, okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people had a criticism that, because people really want the manga to be super explored in live action, so they're like, season 1 you should have cut off where right before Nami, it's a point where pretty much Sanji's arc is over, and now the crew has to go after and save Nami. A lot of people are saying that's where the arc should have ended. I think that's terrible. That's why you should not be a writer. Because there is no positive feeling after that. Like, literally, you're just blue balling me at that point. You're literally just, there's no resolution, there's no resolve. You're just like, oh, okay, we don't even have the whole Luffy's crew. And it's gonna feel kind of weird and kind of tonally imbalanced, at least in my opinion, if you start the season 2 going after Nami. So with that being said, that's how I feel about season 2. Whereas, could you end it at Baroque Works, like when you're done beating all of them and the only one left is Crocodile? Sure, you could. Technically speaking, you ended a particular arc, but you didn't really. I won't walk away from it feeling like, man, I'm ready for season 3. I'll actually walk away really upset. I'll walk away being like, those were the big bads? No, I want the big baddie. Show me Darkseid. Show me Crocodile. And if they want to play with the theory that One Piece fans have been theorizing for the past 15 years that Crocodile is actually Luffy's mom, they could if they want to. But don't worry, Malcolm. Don't worry. It's a joke theory. It has to be. But it's a joke theory, but depending on how
you know what show would never do anything ridiculous like that. Actually, most shows would never do anything ridiculous like that, but Naruto.
It's a fan theory.
Naruto fans would never have that crazy of a theory.
But I'm just saying, if you stretch it a little,
what if Orochimaru was Naruto's mom? They're like, what?
That'd be stupid. So let me continue. Okay, so the reason why I say I'd rather just end it at Arabasta is because it just fits. You see that they're doing saga by saga, which makes sense. But the problem though is that if they do that, I feel like they are going to take out some things maybe. Because you got to think about it. In the anime, that saga is 74 episodes. 74, 75 episodes. The manga is 117. That's almost like 10 to 15 more pieces of content that they have to dwindle down. So something's got to get cut. And I think if they had to cut anything, it would be the Drum Island arc with Chopper. Because let's be honest here, I ain't really care about the arc too fully. I like Luffy. If you keep Luffy climbing the mountain with Nami, show Chopper, show a little bit of that political drama. You can
just a little bit,
just a little bit, 2 episodes, just a little bit. Okay, let's move on to the next point because honestly, I don't really care. And matter of fact, Malcolm, I hope I don't know if you're there yet, but even the little garden arc with the 2 giants.
I just watched that. I was ready to quit watching One Piece. I was like, how do y'all like this show? We're 90 episodes in, and this was a filler episode. It felt like a filler. I was like, this was a disgrace.
I don't know if that's in the manga.
Don't get me
started.
started.
Black man, watch your tongue.
Exactly. I actually don't know that.
What, Little Garden arc?
I don't know if Little Garden is in the manga.
You don't know if it's in the manga?
It probably is, but it's probably just just stretch it
right.
out. They probably stretch it out because they come up way later in the story.
Yeah, probably
again. So.
Are they? No, it is. It is. Little Garden arc. It was only short. It was only 15 chapters.
That was like 10 episodes. That was a waste of my time.
It was 8. It was 8
That
episodes.
was a waste of my time.
Hater.
Yeah, that's definitely
like episodes either.
They're definitely cutting that.
I
That's
enjoy
definitely
them.
not making it.
They're different. That's true. But yeah, they're most likely probably gonna cut that. So
they're not making that.
But that's why I'm saying, like, if they really want to, they can trim some fat on a lot of things to make sure we build up the crocodile. The one thing I will say I do want in season 2 though is I do want them to focus on, because even though we saw Arlong earlier in this season and we saw him as like the mafia gangster, the kind of one collecting the checks and everything like that, I feel like even though I think they did a good job of introducing him early, so him being a big bad isn't necessarily like jarring to see. But I think with Crocodile, I think you need to show him actually like pulling strings more. With Arlong, you didn't see him pulling strings. He was just, hey, I'm here, episode 3. Now I'm episode whatever. Here I am, big bad. Crocodile, he should, like, every episode there should be like a line of dialogue or a scene where he's interacting with the other Baroque Works characters and some dialogue, maybe through a snail transponder or something like that. Something that's like, okay, there's definitely like a mastermind behind all this. And then it's revealed to be Mr. Zero, which is Crocodile. So that's my thought process. Honestly, I just don't know what to do with Chopper. I think if they're gonna do Chopper, do it like from the Ted movie.
Muppet Chopper.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Just do that and call.
What about his different forms?
Ooh.
You would have to cut all of that out, and that's a lot of the Alabasta fights. They're actually going to cut a lot of the Alabasta fights.
Oh, they are 100%. I think the final fight will be at least just one episode full of it. I think, because here's the thing, Chopper. Oh, Malcolm, you don't know this stuff, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. So I guess you don't care at all. But Chopper has a lot of different power stats that cause him to change shapes, and there's one that makes him like super big.
Yeah.
I just wonder how would that be displayed on screen. Yeah, that makes me wonder, like with season 2 with the saga, how are they gonna adapt like a giant reindeer that grows like super tall and is super strong? Like, how's that gonna
They probably
work in
won't.
action?
They probably will only.
You think they're gonna scrap Chopper?
They might only show 1 or 2 of the forms.
You know what they'll probably do? I think you're right. I think they'll show 1 or 2 forms, and they'll probably add in their own little lore of like limitation of like, oh, he can only do it a certain amount of times. He can't do it all the time, or something like that, to where it's like he can't.
They'll build in some level of limitation to make the project feasible.
Yeah.
Without cutting it out.
Yeah, because mind you, they already wrote it, so I wonder if they already decided, are they going to keep Chopper or are they just going to scrap Chopper? I don't think you can.
There's no way you can scrap Chopper.
He's important to the story, even though he might be a side character. He's important to the story when it comes to like medicine.
Oh, Chopper's a side character.
Stop! Don't start, Jason. I'm not going to deal with him today. But other than that, so that's our season 2 predictions. Hopefully, the producers. It seems like they love One Piece, so I give them my trust. It's the same thing with James Gunn with the DC Universe. You have my trust until you break it, so we'll see how it goes. All right. Any last words?
Nah.
No, man. Stay nerdy. Enjoy your stuff, and watch One Piece.
Watch One Piece.
Maybe.